Okay, so I think that I've got this all set up. Yay, I'm so excited. Okay, so are we ready for today or what? Hello and welcome everyone. Don't mind me, I was behind my screen doing like breathing exercises. So if you made it here, you're here. We can just dust this past week, month, year off. I am so thrilled to be hosting my first ever live class. This is totally new to me, so bear with me in case I have sticky spots because I'll be doing 2 separate Zooms to make sure that there's room for everyone who signed up. I just want you to know truly from the bottom of my heart, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being here. As I was behind the screen, like preparing before this live, I was talking with my newbie teacher friend, Samantha, and just really looking back at old pictures of myself from my first years teaching, reminding myself of my why for bringing this much needed class to educators who are feeling defeated and struggling this school year. So if you're here, welcome. Drop in the chat where you're from, what you teach. I see the chat going, but I may not be able to stop and answer all the questions until the end of class. But if you feel comfortable and ready, I'd also love to hear what year of teaching you are in as well. I've gone ahead and dropped the workbook link. Let me make sure I did it in both. Yes. I am a note taker through and through. So if you join me for another training in the future, just know that there will probably be a workbook because I love taking notes. So you can print it or use it online to help you take notes as you complete this class. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to jump right in. All right. So welcome to the From Burnout to Balance webinar. However you're currently feeling right now, which I imagine is near the edge of or in full-blown burnout, we're going to take that and we're going to turn it into balance. That way you can get back to making an impact in your classrooms, ditch the overwhelm, and make your teaching career sustainable for you. If you're wanting to avoid burnout because you heard how awful it can be, you're also in the right place because this presentation is going to give you 3 simple steps to building up educators before they break down. And no, I did not make a typo. I meant for simple to be in big letters because let's be real. I am a mom of 5 as well as a special educator. So if it's not simple, I'm probably not going to do it. So let's just make this really fun and really easy. You might be wondering before we start this training, am I in the right training? Is this training for me? Am I going to get value out of this training? And first of all, let me just share with you that I am here to make a difference with educators. And so I'm going to get straight to the point and give you something in this training that you can leave with and implement immediately. So you'll need your notebook or your workbook and something to write with, and just remove all distractions just for this time period, because I'm going to fill this time with amazing value for you to get back on track to balance. This training is for teachers, educators, school leaders, anyone who is on a mission to make change in our crazy current school system. I really love working with change-making educators. So this training is for dedicated educators that got into teaching because you wanted to make an impact in your community. And you keep hearing that you also need to take care of yourself and fill your cup in order to be more effective, but no one really tells you how, when, where, that sort of thing. And perhaps you've been to professional developments in the past and all they do is hand out a self-care menu and send you on your way. You maybe just can't get a grip on how to balance your family, your life, and your professional duties because you have a never-ending list of to-dos as an educator and an individual. Maybe you have children or a family at home and they still need you after you're done with teaching at the end of the day. You have other things to do. I totally understand, but this is for educators who want that freedom and support to be able to make a lasting change in this broken system of education, all while prioritizing themselves, their needs, and saving their mental health. If you recognize that teachers need time and tools for personal and professional development so that we can address the social and emotional needs of the school as a whole, then you are in the right place. If you're already setting aside time for yourself, setting boundaries, and doing all the things the self-care gurus say that you should, but you're still feeling overwhelmed and discouraged, this training is for you. I also work with educators who are looking for more support, structure, and accountability in creating an authentic resilience plan. So perhaps they've tried different methods, but need a more individualized approach with a step-by-step guidance to making teaching sustainable. These are the teachers I love to work with as well, because there's usually something that we can do that push you right over the edge and help support you during these unprecedented times. There are a few people that this training is not for. And this training is not for you if you're really stuck in this mindset of thinking of leaving the profession because you've never liked the students, the parents, or other teachers, schools, or the idea behind education. I'm not talking about those educators who have trouble with students' behaviors, parents, et cetera. This is definitely a mindset block that teachers have to overcome if they really want to make a difference in this way. But I'm talking about those teachers who are behind the computer screen right now, who just never really wanted to teach to begin with and only got into the profession for the summers off. I'm definitely never trying to tell individuals that teaching is the only profession they can do. If teaching was never something you wanted to do, then I'm never going to tell you that you should stay in a career that you're miserable in and not passionate about. So if you're really passionate about teaching the kids or the impact you make, or if you're just really not willing to overcome these mindset blocks, I'm not going to be able to help you in this training. I can definitely help you overcome it if you're thinking that teaching is just really difficult right now. And although I was once really passionate, I just can't do it anymore because of student behavior, parents, lack of support, et cetera. Or if you say, I don't know if I'm really cut out for this, even though I love it. I wonder if I can really stay in education due to the way that things are right now. I can help you bust through that stuff, but you've got to be willing. If you think that successful educators can sustain the career because they got lucky, or you're pretty sure you're just never going to be one of the lucky ones, or you're just really not willing to find out what they did to get there, then this training is probably not for you. But if you want guidance, support, and community, and you think they do appear to be lucky, but I think I can do this with the right support, if you're willing to hear me out and work through this together, then keep going, because I have lots of stuff for you. In this training, we're going to determine your burnout type, the scary symptoms of burnout, and uncover 3 simple strategies to turn your burnout into balance. Even if you've already got a plan in place to take care of you, I always revisit this topic because most of the time, what I see with educators is that they are still overextending themselves and completing activities that other people say they should, but really isn't truly authentic to them. And last, stick with me to the end, because today's event is really the kickoff for celebrating sharing with you all something really special, and it's going to be an amazing training. So I think you're going to want to stick with me to the end, but this kickoff is a huge celebration. And if you've been watching me on Instagram, you have an idea of what it is, but in case, I've got a little bribe for you. You stick with me to the end of this training, then I'm giving you one of the most valuable bonuses that I don't typically give away. I only give it away in this training. This bonus is the full guide to get you from burnout to balance. The link for that is in the chat. It is a downloadable PDF workbook with diagrams, prompts, and a note-taking section for you to really take right now so that you can put this training into action and gain the balance you need and deserve. This is going to give you a plan to use tomorrow and start pulling yourself out of burnout. So whether you have a plan already or you're looking to create a plan to make teaching sustainable, this is a great way to kickstart your balance and kick burnout to the curb so that you can build resilience before breaking down. I will also give you this bonus for sticking with me to the end. So if you're joining me live at the end of this training, I will also provide you with a link to get an hour PD certificate, as well as a chance to win an Amazon gift card. So be sure to stick with me till the end. All right. So this is me. And if you would have told me a couple of years ago that I would be posting on social media or making videos like this training to help support teachers who were burned out, I would tell you that you're crazy. Because 5 years ago, I was going through a divorce after my second baby and teaching arguably one of the most difficult classes of my career. I was burned out professionally and personally. And so really I dove headfirst into learning about self-care and personal growth, researching all the evidence-based ways to take care of myself, and I started implementing them. But then COVID hit, and my district asked me to teach special education modified curriculum and resource completely virtually for the entire school year. And I knew that there were some things that I was going to need to do differently to take care of myself. And as I scrolled through my feed, I noticed how many teachers were drowning in hybrid and virtual worlds. And so I started sharing my experiences and resources on TikTok. I noticed how many teachers were feeling that burnout with little support. And I've always found it surprising that even though teachers are surrounded by like so many people, like literally can't go potty or enjoy your lunch without somebody needing you, teaching can feel pretty lonely. In fact, when I was at my lowest, I remember thinking, I can't talk to anyone in my building about my personal problems. I have to keep my personal things at home and try to deal with school on my own. And what is wrong with me? Why can't I get it all done? Maybe teaching really isn't for me after all. And maybe you felt some or all of those things too. But the truth is, teaching has always been my calling. But I just really needed someone who had been there before, reminding me that it was okay to take care of my mental health and my family, and someone who could help me create sustainable strategies and routines so that I could really pull myself out of burnout. And I didn't really find that person, but that's why I vowed to be that for others. As I was helping support these teachers from across the globe on TikTok, what I also heard was how stressed, anxious, worn out they were. I saw teachers who were amazing in the classroom and had all this passion burn out and quit mid-year. And I was kind of astonished because I'd been there. I knew what that was like. I knew what having a toxic administrator was like. And thankfully, I do not have that now. But I knew what feeling micromanaged felt like. And most of all, I knew what feeling like a failure in education felt like. But one thing I noticed was that there were these professional developments that were being provided by knowledgeable people. I mean, I guess I don't really know that any of them were actual teachers or knew what it was like, but when they would present, they would tell the staff how important self-care is, what it is, and then give them a menu of items and call it a day. And teachers in my feed kept saying things like, well, with all these self-care PDs, it'd be nice to have time to do that, or I just wasted an hour of my life. And truthfully, no one was coming to the rescue with better solutions. So there was this emphasis on social emotional learning for students that was neglected during the closures. And the adults that were teaching it to our students had reached the point where they could not take care of their personal social emotional development. And sitting in an IEP meeting with a parent, I had this light bulb moment where I was like, I know what to do. I need to bring what I've researched the last 5 years about and develop a way to get individualized support to these educators so that they can sustain a career doing what they love. So zip through the rest of the story because I know you didn't come to this training to hear all about me, but I tell you all of that to say, hey, I'm Brittany, and that is me in the picture there now. That's my husband and I. I did remarry, and those are our 5 kids on the right. The picture on the left is us at my district's Teacher of the Year celebration, where I was named our district middle school virtual Teacher of the Year. The moment of my career where I realized that I'd beat burnout, I'd reignited my passion for teaching, and that is all thanks to the balance that I achieved through doing it authentically and individualized, specific for me. And I want to help you do the same. I want you to fall back in love with teaching and get balanced. Psychologists have found that there are 3 main types of burnout. And I thought, what better way to help you understand than bring in some pop culture? My absolute favorite movie of all time is Bridesmaids. I know, super cliche chick flick, but the characters just speak to me. So which one are you or have you been? Are you Helen, the overloaded people pleaser? Do you put on that facade like you can do it all? Do you smile, but inside you're just dying? With overload burnout, people work harder and ever more frantically in search of success. They are willing to risk their health and personal life in the pursuit of their ambition, and they cope by complaining. Or are you Megan? Is you're saying, not my circus, not my monkeys? Do you sit back, let things happen with an overall apathy to your classroom? Do you avoid going above and beyond at all costs? Just follow the curriculum provided. And this subtype of burnout results from feeling helpless at work. These burned out teachers may feel incompetent or unable to keep up with the demands of their job. And these teachers tend to be passive and unmotivated. Or are you Annie? Are you slightly overwhelmed and underchallenged? My absolute favorite quote from that movie is from Annie when she says, "Help me, I'm poor." It kind of relates to being an educator, right? Signs of under-challenge burnout include not feeling appreciated, boredom, and a lack of learning opportunities. And because these people find no passion or enjoyment in their work, they cope by distancing themselves from their job. And this indifference really leads to cynicism and avoidance of responsibility and overall disengagement. So no judgment. I have been every single one of these characters in the past 11 years in education, so do not feel bad. But research finds that certain personality traits, like being a type A high achiever, can also contribute to burnout. Many teachers often fit the mold too. You can action to reduce your stress by setting better boundaries, managing negative thoughts, and learning to speak up and be more assertive. Because believe it or not, it is possible to love your work and find joy in it, not dread. Burnout is an insidious condition. It happens slowly over a period of time, and you may not even realize it's happening. But the consequences can be life-altering, which is why it's important to spot the signs early. Every year, teachers struggle with burnout, but this year it just really seems to be hitting harder than ever for a lot of talented and dedicated educators. And just because you're in burnout does not mean you're not resilient. It actually means you're strong, because you're still performing in unfavorable conditions. But how many of these signs of burnout do you have? Feeling overwhelmed and depleted, not enjoying the things you used to, poor nutrition or sleep, unmotivated or lethargic, relying on unhealthy coping mechanisms, trouble focusing. The thing is, once you're in active burnout, it's really hard to pull yourself out. And as a certified mentor teacher, I recognized how important it is and how very little emphasis is given to educator training on combating this burnout. So if you're here and you're in an active burnout, I'm here to tell you that it is not too late. There is a way to go from burned out to balanced. And maybe now you're like, yeah, definitely burned out. So like, what do I do? And that's why I came up with my method for building educator resilience. And I call it the Individualized Educare Program. And in just a bit, I'll share with you the visual for this method. But in the meantime, I just need you to understand some things about the program. And the first step is self-discovery. So somewhere along the line, you're going to have this light bulb moment. And maybe you've already dove into self-discovery and feel like you know yourself pretty well. And that's okay. But what research finds is that people often just stick around the tip of the iceberg and they rarely go below the surface when in self-discovery. And that's why I developed this framework. So you can have a simple and effective method for going below the surface where you find that sweet spot between your values, your vision, your personality, and where you are right now. The things that you're naturally good at, the skills you've developed over time as an educator, plus your experiences that you've had and you've lived through, PDs you've been to, books you've read, and what your students, parents, and the system truly need. Somewhere in there, there's this it factor, and it needs to be fostered because that brings the balance to your home and work life. And you may get through this training and complete the prompts and still feel a little uneasy or like you really don't know what to do. And that's okay, because really in completing this, you will have taken one step towards discovering what your needs are, and self-awareness is really the key to unlocking growth. It puts it in your frame of focus, and it's going to be really hard to not make steps towards evolving and growing as an educator. It just takes a little longer for some people, but you've got to just dive in and start discovering what makes you unique. And in doing that, something's likely to come. So let's do some self-discovery with our burnout, shall we? Being a special educator, I know that every strategy is not going to work for every person. Self-care and resilience is not a one-size-fits-all program. And my goal today is just to really help you visualize your energy exchanges right now and give you an individualized perspective at how you can get back to balanced. And this is why I adapted the teachings from Meredith Newland's book, Free to Teach, into some workbook exercises so that you can visually see which components are draining, energizing, or are most important to you. It is essential to have a sustainable resilience plan in place. And if you're not a fan of certain aspects of your energy exchanges, then you're not really likely to keep up the habits that keep you energized and ready to tackle your day. So to visualize the energy that you expend and need to stay balanced in education, you can do this on a paper now, or you can download that bonus that I told you about earlier. But I want you to draw a circle and put your name inside. And then you're going to create tick marks and label all the different people, tasks, activities, meetings, plans, commitments in your life. And once you've done that, you're going to draw arrows from you in red to the things and people that drain your energy, and draw arrows towards you in green from the things and people that give you energy. So let's see this in action. We've got Amanda. She is a fifth-year teacher in a new school district, and she remembers what teaching was like before the pandemic. She's been struggling really bad since pandemic teaching, and now she's at her wit's end. And she wonders if teaching is even right for her anymore. She's got into teaching because she loves making a difference, but she also really wants to spend time with her family. And she feels as if teaching these last couple of years just really hasn't given her the freedom to be there for her children, because she's spending, hours after work completing paperwork. She's got meetings, grading papers. She's about ready to quit. So she completes her visualization activity, and Amanda noticed that she was completing the activity and she was being rather negative. So she tried to add in some things that she does regularly that bring her more energy. She coaches the cheerleading squad at school, and she loves being a part of that. She likes hanging out with her work besties, and she makes time for date nights and things like that, which seem to energize her the most. She even writes down like the breaks she gets as a teacher as her energizers, because they help her to recoup from the difficulties of teaching. Completing this activity, she realizes how difficult it was for her to come up with her green arrows, but in the end, it looks pretty balanced. Looking at this visual can be kind of overwhelming, and we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with any of this. We don't want to go trying to fix all of the issues all at one time. That's not sustainable. So we have to break it down into these smaller chunks, which is step 2. So using your visual, you're going to create a paper sectioned in 2, labeling one side as energizing or your green arrows, and then the other side as draining or your red arrows. Or you can just feel free to use the next page in your workbook that you received for attending this webinar, but to see how balanced you've been. Now, seeing your list side by side can be kind of eye-opening, but let's go a little bit further with this. You're going to focus on the things that are pulling your energy away. You're going to look at those activities, those people, those obligations, and get specific about how much time those things take per day or per week. You're going to make a time frame, or like number of times per week or per month out to the side. So if we look at Amanda's example, even though her energizing and draining activities look balanced on paper, once she's really broken it down into time increments, she can see that a lot of those draining activities really take quite a long time. And the energizing activities she's currently doing either don't have a specific time, or they take minimal time to complete. And this breakdown really allows her to recognize where the imbalance really lies is not in the number of activities, but in the time that she has. And now yours may look very different because we're each unique and we have activities that we enjoy and can't stand. Your times may align more with the activities that you're and are still imbalanced. And you may be completing activities that just don't feel good. There's so many different ways that we can look at this, and it's going to be different for each one of us. So going below the surface of our individuality is really the key to creating a balance in this wheel. Step number 3. I can hear some of you now. Okay, there's a kink in my chain. I need to fix it, and I've tried. I do everything the self-care gurus tell me. I take bubble baths, I go running. I still feel like crap. So when we go on this self-discovery train and I talk about how to really come up with a resilience and self-care plan, we need to recognize that we are all unique individuals. What works for someone else isn't going to necessarily align with us and benefit us in the long run. The purpose of self-care menus is to be able to choose activities that speak to you. And yes, I did give you some ideas of some energizers just to help you create more balance in your bonus guide, but we've got to be able to recognize what truly aligns with our values, our vision, and our personality. And I really dive into how to evaluate yourself in these aspects and choose activities best suited for you in the individualized Educare program framework. Now that we've established your current status, what drains your energy, what might energize you further, we really need to reflect. And in order for us to be authentic in our resilience routine and create something that is individualized for our own personality, our likes, etc., reflection and introspection are necessary. We have to be unique. So to fill your cup and ensure that you're balanced, just consider these next questions and reflect on your responses. Again, you can do this on a sheet of paper, or you can complete the prompts in the guide you get for being a part of this webinar after it. But are you making enough time for things that really energize you? Have you included everything that will bring you joy? Consider what it would feel like to minimize the amount of time the energy drainers take up in your day. What can you ask for help with? When it comes to teaching, what do you feel the need to say, think, or feel just because somewhere you heard that you should? What can you delegate, automate, eliminate? And I can hear you now. How am I supposed to automate or eliminate key parts of my job description? There are ways to do that, and I show you the simple solutions for the school environment in the individualized educare program. So there are some mindset blocks that come up when I teach this, and I want to make sure that we really tackle these, because this is what I hear all the time when teachers are beginning to dive into discovering their individuality and their needs as an educator. They say, well, I'll never be able to change the state of the system of education, so what is the point? It's not me that needs to change and evolve. It's these parents, it's student behavior, my administration, some other challenging piece of teaching. And to that I say, if not you, then who? If we don't continue to grow as educators and as humans, who is going to change the state of what we're in currently? Who is going to impact these students we love so much? Who's going to help change politics so people who are from education are actually making the decisions about education? It's not burned out teachers. That is for sure. They're already beat down and are just trying to survive. And then you might say, well, what if there are things I don't like about myself? And to that I say, each of us have pieces of ourselves that we don't like. That's okay. The purpose of knowing ourselves is to make small changes over time. We as teachers need to have a method for understanding ourselves, our needs, our wants, our passion, our personality, and really roll it up into this amazing package so that we can understand where we can make the change and where we can take ourselves in order to build up our system again. Trust me, if you can know one strength and create one sustainable routine, then you can make a difference somewhere along the line. Not everyone's going to re-energize themselves to the point of creating a movement for change in education, but there are those of us who are making an impact in our classrooms, one student at a time. And that's something to be proud of and recognize as a ripple effect in the long run. And you may think, well, I don't really have what it takes to be a teacher anymore. I think I've already reached the point of no return. You're in this training. You've listened thus far. You have what it takes. If you're stuck here, because this is often the sticking point for people when they're like, I don't know, I just can't do this. I feel really overwhelmed and I'm just not sure what to do. First, I want you to stop right now, DM me. My name on Instagram is @teachingmindbodyandsoul, and I am right behind the messages, and I'll get back to you. We can chat about your burnout, your strengths, your weaknesses, your energy wheel. And because I'm really passionate about helping you balance your burnout before it breaks you down, I would love to chat with you. So at this point, if you need to, stop, DM me, come back to this training and finish up. But I want you to have some idea of what makes you worth continuing to teach. And let's find that and get you back on the road to balance. You have a unique piece that is a missing piece to the puzzle of education. And I want you to have the tools you need to build your resilience in the classroom. I want to show you that even if you've already started putting in your applications or you've had to take a mental health sabbatical, you can get out of burnout. This is a former workshop participant, and the participant says, I was really considering leaving teaching this year. I couldn't handle all the stresses of everything going on with hybrid learning, virtual learning, parents' behaviors. It really seemed like everything was falling apart. But when I implemented Brittany's individualized educare program, I started noticing things about myself that were needing refinement. I would never have been able to build out my plan that eventually led me to making big changes in my career and personal life without this. And I'm living a life that I'm proud of. And that's Alicia. And what you have to know about Alicia is that she was an English teacher for 5 years. And after taking this program, she realized that her overall strength is in technology and that it reignited her passion. And she determined to be a change in tech for her district. And I believe she told me that she had accepted a position as a technical coach in her school this coming year. So that's really awesome. So you can see that even if you've already determined to get out of teaching, sometimes finding yourself and what your strengths and weaknesses and making like small intentional changes over time, that can lead you to finding your passion and purpose in education again. Leaving a profession isn't necessarily going to heal your burnout, but a change in routine that is more aligned to you is. So perhaps you already know what that step is, or you may need help along the way. Either way, you've got two options here. You can keep going. You can take what I've taught you in this training. You can say, yeah, Brittany, I'll start incorporating one of those things you talked about. I mean, I can DIY that, but which thing am I supposed to do? Should I start with nutrition, maybe meditation? Where can I find information about these topics? Should I read a book? Should I join a gym? Hire a nutritionist? Go to a meditation class? Can I find pins about it on Pinterest? Or maybe if I start looking at TikTok for you page, it'll just show me some things every once in a while and I can learn more about that. I could follow all the popular teacher Instagrammers and try to reignite my passion for teaching with all these amazing things that they do. And you could quickly spiral off in a lot of directions. And you can see why teachers' to-do lists are like a mile long. But I don't want you to have to do all those things. I don't want you to have to follow teachers on social media just to get excited for teaching and then end up comparing yourself to their highlights. I don't want you to spend hours and days and years researching. I want you to do like how we did in those choose your own adventure books, the ones where you read along and it would give you this option. If you want to do this, go to page 12. If you want to go to do this, go to page 100. And you get to choose. And I want you to do the same thing when it comes to skills and resilience. I want you to be able to make an informed choice about what resonates with your likes, your dislikes, your personality, your lifestyle. And here's why, because essentially when we're creating a plan to go to balance, we don't want to add more things to the scales. We want to have like a clear, concise, and direct method to choose and reduce our overwhelm and not add to it. Option one really isn't getting you out of burnout. It's just adding more to your plate. And more than likely, you'll end up making smaller changes over time that really aren't aligned with your personality, your values, et cetera. And I see this happen time and time again. The changes just don't stick. Option two is to get the step-by-step roadmap to teacher resilience while building a sustainable and individualized self-care plan so you can stop burning out and start living a balanced life with authenticity. And option two, you can be part of a supportive community of teachers, educators, and leaders that are doing and have been in the same place that you are. You can be a part of a community of like-minded teachers who are also continuing to want to make a difference and to change the narrative in education. You can invest in yourself and get access to updated trainings from some of the leading professionals in skills training like classroom management, behavior management, nutrition, boundary setting, without having to spend hours scrolling and researching, and get mentorship from a teacher that has been to the ends of burnout and back and help you always continue to build that sustainability in your career. Build your strengths and tackle your weaknesses. And you can do that by joining the individualized Educare program and being a founding member of the Educare support squad, along with me, your teacher resilience coach, to help teach you individualized Educare program framework and so much more each quarter. And I want to tell you about what's inside. First of all, when you join, you'll get access to this portal and your dashboard will look like the one on the left with some really amazing resources. The first is a resource that will help you assess, develop, and sustain your resilience and self-care plan to beat and avoid burnout. And that means pouring into yourself and prioritizing yourself while doing things that align with your unique path. I will teach you how to create systems and bust through mindset blocks. That way you can reignite your passion for teaching and find the joy in your career again. I'm going to teach you game-changing methods for choosing routines, habits, and skills that really align with you in your individual journey. That way you're no longer wasting time trying to figure out what to do, where to do, and when to do it. Inside the individualized Educare program framework, we cover 6 modules of content that lives inside your membership. In Module 1, we talk about evaluating the most important person in the program, you, and really diving into some self-discovery by looking at your current actions, your personality, your values, and really how all of that works together through some professional skills and evidence-based assessments. Then we dive into developing a plan. We talk about strategy with vision planning, the simple way to setting goals, differentiating maintenance and emergency plans, and then really developing your authentic strategy. And then in Module 3, we discuss what tools and services we can utilize to progress. Acquiring anchor habits, quick progress monitoring, the foolproof method for setting boundaries that maintain relationships, and simple systems, the school environment, in the school environment. That way you can make your plan work for you in various settings. In Module 4, we dive into changing our mindset. And this is where we discuss making or breaking your circuit, committing to yourself, removing limiting beliefs, and so much more. In Module 5, we discuss how to accommodate ourselves in times of high stress by looking at stress management, compassion fatigue, vicarious trauma, cultivating emotional resilience, and mindful teaching. And finally, in Module 6, we discuss when to reevaluate, how to do it, and consistency. Katie S. says that after implementing each of the steps in the individualized educare program, I realized that I can prioritize me and still do what I need to do in the classroom. There's more to this self-care thing than I ever thought. This isn't just another thing to do. This is the thing to do if you want to find your happiness again. I love how Brittany makes each part of the process relatable and still a very unique experience for each member. This program needs to be in college courses for future teachers. So like you can see, you get a lot out of the course inside the program, but what's really cool about the membership is it's kind of like an Ipsy box or a gym membership, right? So you not only get access to the equipment, but as a member, you get special trainings, you get to work with your coach and things like that. And you get to be around a supportive community. And that's what's so awesome about the individualized educare program and the educare support squad. Every quarter, you're going to be invited to attend a monthly squad session, which is kind of like the most amazing hour and a half of the month, where everyone comes, gets this monthly training for me, or if it's like a topic that the squad is really wanting to hear about, and it's not my expertise, I'm going to have an expert come in the field come in, and these sessions will usually be topics that will help you move from one level to the next in your self-care or your resilience plan. And then I give some implementation time and some coaching, and everyone leaves kind of revitalized and excited and connected. And all you have to do is really show up. One of my favorite quarterly drops is the self-care support guides. So in this giant quarterly PDF, you get habit trackers, self-care planning templates to either use digitally or print, and you put it into your paper planner, everything that you really need for the quarter so that you can take back control of your mental health and stay consistent on your journey towards finding resilience and joy in your career again. This is all rolled up into this nice PDF. And we also have a lot of accountability. We have live Q&A sessions, support squad co-working sessions where you can just show up, get some work done, brainstorm with other members, lots of opportunities like accountability pods and master classes that people put together, like peer-to-peer masterminds that squad members might do from time to time. There's just lots of opportunities to collaborate, team up, get support from others in the community. That way you're getting that support that you need. And we have templates and mantras and everything you really need to save time developing your authentic plan and making it consistent and sustainable. What you see here is a list of support squad session topics for 2022. We will be going through these, and you'll have access to the recordings if you're unable to make it live. Plus, you'll be able to attend some of the sessions depending on the quarter or the month you come in. But if you see anything that you're interested in here, it's worth the price of the membership just to come to the support squad sessions and seminars. Forget the fact that you also get access to the course and so many other things each month. The workshops alone are really worth the monthly value. Plus, we have lots of bonus content, including template sessions, courses, and so much more. Some of them are taught by me, but others are taught by other coaches. You have a way to request certain topics be presented. And if I'm really not the expert in that area, I'm going to find somebody reputable to come and talk to you about that topic. Squad seminar and session recordings, bonus courses, trainings, email templates, planning templates, as well as members of the individualized educare program are the only ones who get free all access passes to the Summer Self-Care Conference, which is an amazing conference put on by some of the leaders in education. This is usually essentially a $69 value for the all access pass. So members of the squad get this as well for free as part of their membership. And I want this to be like your one-stop shop to getting the information and skills that you need to make teaching a sustainable career. So this is kind of like an outline of everything that you get in the entire program. My signature framework for individualized self-care, split up into 6 easy to digest and self-paced to help you feel confident and empowered in developing your resilience plan and finding joy in your career again. There's also new guided self-care practices in the self-care support guide PDFs, added quarterly, designed specifically for burnout teachers, and group coaching calls, special guest speakers on different self-care and mental health themes for squad students only. As an EduCare participant, you also have a say in the presenters and the topics that are included through a topic request form. We have a presenter and teacher available to teach you for your specific needs, templates for planning, organizing, habit tracking, help you make small changes over time that's really going to build the resilience that you need. You also have access to the private Facebook community for feedback, accountability, and support, as well as access to our ongoing self-care support library with extra trainings, bonus masterclasses, and so much more. Members only discounts on additional teaching mind, body, and soul and EduCare courses and workshops. And as a founding member of the program, you're going to receive a founding members discount of 50% off for you to implement the individualized EduCare program for the next 12 months. If I were to break it down and value it all out, you get this 6-module individualized EduCare program, live monthly coaching, co-working training, the EduCare program, workbook, quarterly trainings, and self-care support guides, the bonus masterclasses, the summer self-care conference, all access pass, community, everything adds up to way more than $2,000. And you can join right now for just $15, which I know seems like, wait, what? Is this some sort of crazy infomercial? But it's absolutely true. You can get started right now by going to http://bit.ly/individualized EduCare program. And I want to explain a couple of payment options so that you'll see that on the page. The first payment option is the monthly payment option of $15 per month. You can cancel this at any time. So if you join today and you decide, no, this isn't what I need to help me be more resilient, and honestly, I just really don't think that's what you're going to decide once you see what's waiting for you on the other side, but you can cancel at any time, no questions asked. We want you to be happy, successful, and feel more joy. And then there is the annual payment plan, and it's $147 for the year. We do recommend that when you join this way, you kind of commit in your own mind to giving this program your full trust and following this process for a year to see the absolute most change in your resilience and satisfaction in your career. And so when you pay up front, you save by getting 2 months free inside the membership, and you get a really wonderful VIP digital planner as a bonus for being a part annual member. One big difference between the two plans is that the 6-module course at the monthly payment option is dripped out 1 module per month after the 2nd module. And so that's really for people who want to pace themselves a little bit. Some people don't really want to come in and get all the extra course content at once. So if you'd rather have something paced, you're going to want to select the monthly payment. If you're an annual member, you will have, instant access to the entire course. So you're truly pacing yourself with that payment plan. So again, if you join, you're going to want to go to http://bit.ly/individualized EduCare program. And your invitation to join does expire, so I want to make sure we go over that right now. This method is for driven, committed educators who are determined to make a change in the broken system and not burn out and make the biggest impact on the students that need them. All you have to do is join us on the other side, do the work, enjoy the journey of falling back in love with teaching and yourself, and get the sustainability that you deserve, because this is the first time that I've ever launched this offer in this way. This is a limited time pricing because the pricing will eventually need to meet the value in this membership. So if you're ready to invest in yourself, commit to your vision, and feel the satisfaction you deserve, don't wait. This is your time. You won't want to miss out on getting this at the lowest price that will ever be. Once you join, you'll be able to get into your member area, explore, get started with the course content, download the calendar. So you'll be ready to hop on one of the live calls. April's session is already scheduled. So you'll join the Educare Support Squad Facebook group. We're waiting inside. And if you're wondering if the membership is right for you, because this is a question I get a lot, do I need a membership that's like a gym membership but for my self-care and resilience? And the number one benefit, the single most important benefit to a membership, is that you have continued training and continued support as you face those additional challenges and struggles in your teaching career. You have this amazing network of teachers and your coach / cheerleader to be there rooting you on towards your authentic resilience. If you're having trouble deciding if the individualized Educare program is right for you, again, send me a DM at Teaching Mind, Body, and Soul, and I'm happy to chat with you through it. No pressure. I'm going to really help you truly make a decision about if this is the right investment for you and your mental health at this time. And you have 7 days to enroll in the individualized Educare program before the doors close. So again, the link is there. If you want more information on how to get a scholarship for this program or bring the information to your school, you can scroll down to the FAQ on the website and check out those options. I hope to see you over there in the membership. And now I'm going to drop the shared folder, I already did that, in the chat so that you can pick up your PD certificate. You'll go to http://bit.ly Educare webinar feedback. And that way you can go ahead and get that emailed over to you. I will also make sure to email it to you just in case you missed it here, the workbook and all of that. So are we ready for a giveaway? I do have a surprise for you that I will be giving away not 1, but 2 Amazon gift cards. The first one goes right now to the first person to comment with the correct answer. And I'm going to be switching in between screens, so it's going to be difficult. But if you know me, watch me, or follow along, or just paid attention earlier. The question is, how many kids do me and my husband have together? How many kids do me and my husband have together? All right, so Tiffany, congratulations. If you want a chance to win the second Amazon gift card, then go ahead, fill out the feedback survey. The link for that is at the bottom of the screen, http://bit.ly Educare webinar feedback. Me and my husband do have 5 kids together. So let me know if you enjoyed the webinar, and I'll be using a random number generator to choose from who will fill out the feedback survey. And then the winner will be announced on my Instagram stories on Monday, March 21st. So be on the lookout for that. And yes, let's answer some questions real quick. Do I get PD credit for this? Yes. The course does come with a professional development certificate for completing the course. It's up to you to really take the certificate over to your district to have them honor it. Different states have different requirements for professional development, and I have not had any feedback from any of my previous workshop participants or members having an issue with getting that approved. So I feel like you should be good, but yes, you do get PD credit. Is it worth it to try implementing it this school year? I say yes, absolutely. Teachers need this ASAP so that they can start pulling themselves out of burnout and using authentic strategies and individualized supports. And burnout can really lead to some surprising medical conditions. And so I absolutely 100% believe that teachers can go ahead, start practicing these concepts within the school year to really refine over the summer and come back stronger than ever before. Another question, will this help me next year? Next year, you're going to have a solid plan in place. You're going to be able to, you will have built a sustainable resilience plan and a self-care routine that will allow you to walk back into the building after summer break and have that foundation right from the start. A game changer for sure. I want to thank you for coming to this. It was really difficult to kind of go back and forth in between 2 different screens. But I hope that you guys enjoyed. Be sure to fill out the feedback. I will be picking a winner for the second Amazon gift card. But the link for the individualized Educare program is right there. It's http://bit.ly/individualized Educare program. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate y'all. This was awesome.